What is going on, everybody, and welcome to my live reaction to One Piece manga chapter 1075. Welcome to the chat. Also, quick reminder to anybody who is telling me to read on a different day on Twitter or on other social media or whatever, I am always live at 8 a.m. Pacific time, Sunday mornings, right here on youtube.com/RogersBase. That's not going to change. If you want it to change, go watch somebody else. I'm not changing. Now, let's get started with my reaction right now. This is 1075 Labo Phase Death Game, German Double Sixes, An Emotionless Excursion, Volume 31. The Genius Scientist gets an audience with the Five Elders. So we've got Vegapunk, young Vegapunk, while he was obviously still part of Mads, and you've got the Gorosei there as well. All right, so let's do this. Pythagoras, come in right now. What was that explosion? And we're in the lab. All right, Pythagoras, answer me. And you've got the explosions and the smoke behind him and everything else. And Shaka's going, was it an accident? Hopefully he wasn't caught in its midst. Building C, Cam Snail 12, give me a pan. And you've got the little camera stuck to the top of the ceiling. Huh? What's this? A figure. And you see a shadowed out figure. Okay, little glowing eyes. And then you see the giant hand. And, okay, another explosion. Did that take out the cam snail? So we've got more of the communications being messed up. And you got Luffy and Zoro going, what's up, Luffy, by the control room? Did something happen, Helmet? I'm not hearing their voices in my ear anymore. Building C, Building A, Building B, and you're getting a map of the facility from floors 4 through 1. All right, this is on floor 3, Building A. Where are you, Vegapunk? And you've got Nami, Brooke, and Edison as one group. Okay, cute. Jules for me. Hey, the first thing out of a lady's mouth after Jules should be they're not... Oh, excuse me. I read this wrong. Excuse me. The first thing out of a lady's mouth after Jules should be they're so pretty, not whatever you said. Well, what's the harm? We're all evacuating the island anyway. You've got little Edison jumping up. Well, you got a point there, but I think you folks got a few bugs in your neural circuits. Okay, it's getting heavy. Shall we get back? She already filled up her whole backpack with goodies. Hey, we're looking for the Stella, remember? Fine, I'll set it down right here, but we have to pass this way going back. Did you know that there are synthetic diamonds, right? For industrial purposes? You mean you can make diamonds? And her eyes are turning into berries. He's like, come on, why are your eyes turning into that? The future's made of nothing but dreams. Stella, where are you? So Nami discovered a machine that can make diamonds. All right, fantastic. She's probably in heaven then. All right. Second floor, Building A. So your face is just a mask then. I could change my looks and my body however I want. That's what the future's like. Okay. So why is Atlas choosing to look like a little kid then? That's questionable. Why are you doing this? Okay, so this is Vegapunk, and you've got Chopper, Robin, and Atlas as the full second group. Those are organoids in those vats. Lab-grown organs. It's indispensable tech to the future of medicine. And Chopper's like, what? You can make organs? That's amazing. I thought they were dismembered bits of Vegapunk here. Like, what? Come on, getting way too dark. I'm sure that's going to come into play later, though. The fact that they're showing that they can make organs. That says to me somebody is going to lose a vital organ, and they're just literally going to grab one and then put it with the other person who just lost it. That's my guess. I think at some point, somebody's going to lose an organ, things are going to look dire, and they're just probably going to grab a new heart or a new liver or a new kidney or something out of the machine. All right. Command room, 4th floor, Building A. Yo, Helmet, what's going on? Edison? This is Shaka. Come in. Okay, I was hearing their voices in my ear right up until a minute ago, and I'm pretty sure I didn't break this one. I swear, I definitely didn't bang it on anything. No. Come on, look at this. And you can see the communications still messing up all the different camera feeds. The camera feeds are going out one by one. There's someone here inside the lab. So this says to me that Shaka is probably not the traitor then. If all the different things are buzzing out and he's showing this to Luffy, my guess is that it's somebody else. Well, okay, where is everybody? We're seeing Atlas and Edison. Okay, well, let's keep going. Let's see if there's anybody else we're not going to see. I was going back in the chapter. All right, 2nd floor, Building B to the right. I can't believe we're actually going to be sailing with you, Madam Stussy. You were at Big Mom's tea party, weren't you? You should remember it was your wedding day, Sanji. Will you call me your dog? Come on, silly. Help me look for the Stella. What is going on here? Okay. This man's trying to be Denji from Chainsaw Man. All right, and Jinbei's thankfully ignoring all that going. The lab is enormous. This is the weapons development floor, so don't cause any big vibrations. Okay. 3rd floor, building C to the left. Bubble gun? Yeah, it shoots the ultimate bubbles that can deflect anything. All right, you got York there as well. So we have York and Lilith with Usopp and Frankie. York going, I'm sleepy. So, wait, so deflecting things is an attack now? Vegapunk, where are you? You've got that last group. So we're not spending a lot of time with Sanji, Stussy, and Jinbei. We're basically just seeing that to know, okay, that's one of the groups right there. And then this is the other group with York and Lilith and Usopp and Frankie. Okay. York is also back to her normal self as well, saying, that looks bad. What happened here? What? It's the aftermath of an explosion, and someone's on the ground. Is that Pythagoras? And he's all laid out. His head's popped off, though, but he's clearly okay, because you can see in the other panel, his little head's waddling around. They're all going, hang in there, we'll help you. He's got no head. That was brutal. They blew his head off. What happened? And was this the blast we heard? And you see Usopp sniping over, waiting, but you can see the little head core of Pythagoras is fine, walking around, saying, excuse me, stop, don't attack, it's just me. Pythagoras. Pythagoras' head. Wait, what happened? Was it an accident? Actually, it looks more like an enemy. It doesn't make any sense, though. I mean, I'm finding it impossible to grasp, but my eyes can't be mistaken, so what is it? I mean, just say it. Could we have made a mistake in the design stage? Where's York? What's this? Didn't Edison order you to stay put earlier? York, you're supposed to be waiting out front. Okay, meanwhile, she's petting this little baby Seraphim Boa Hancock? What's going on over here? York, you gotta stay away from her, huh? Mello, boom, turn into a stone right away. And York, boom, slams onto the ground as well, turning into stone. Kicking something, what is this? Oh, was that Pythagoras' head? Wait, York? But why? Why, you're a Seraphim. Seraphim, wait, Seraphim, stop. Who said you can do this? I mean, you got a Boa Hancock S Snake, or whatever you want to call her, holding down, shooting lasers. It doesn't make any sense. I'm Vegapunk, right? I mean, she won't listen to orders. And you got the full explosion from the back, the different characters falling down. That traitor. It's not supposed to work this way. Can we hit back? And you got a little cloud in the background as well. That little brat. You see the Serum from Boa like looking kind of disturbed and intrigued, and then all of a sudden getting a smile looking back at Lilith. Shaka, come in, Shaka. It won't work. Our comms are down. Well, don't even joke about that. You know we can't beat them in a fight. We created them to be the ultimate form of humanity. And you've got Boa looking back as well, stars in her eyes. Command room, building A. All right, so we're moving right on from that as well. So it seems so far this chapter is mostly a setup chapter then, is what it's seeming like, just to sort of get your bearings with all the different groups and figure out where characters are going to go. So, all right, help me out, Luffy. What is it, Zoro? You got Shaka there as well. So Shaka, Luffy, and Zoro. Okay. S-Hawk, S-Bear, stop. Whose orders are you following? Is that going to stop them? Well, good. They were going after CP0 too. If I let those guys get slaughtered with handcuffs on, it's going to leave a bad taste in my mouth. I think it's very funny that Shaka's at least trying, like the Chris Pratt Jurassic Park, Jurassic World thing where, oh, you can stop them by just holding your hands up, but clearly that's not working. You can see baby Mihawk Seraphim and Kuma Seraphim charging up, getting ready to attack. All right. And they're screaming, they're not obeying orders. And you got the giant explosion with the Saturn ring around it, rubble flying everywhere. If they're not obeying me, well, that would mean that Vegapunk gave them their orders. And if the downed radio and being trapped inside the barrier were all planned from the start, then someone is trying to kill us all. Kill us all. You Seraphim think we're a big joke? Straw Hat. Oh, they're up. Okay. Straw Hat, Rotonoa. What say we pause on old scores and team up for a bit? Take off these cuffs and we can help you. And you've got Luffy and Zoro like Oden style making the weird disgusted face. You don't seem to like that. Oh, that's the end of the chapter. Oh, okay. That's it. To be continued. That's it. That's the end of the chapter. Oh, okay. Okay, review time. This is clearly set up. This is cool. I like the idea that Lucci and Kaku are going to team up temporarily with Luffy and Zoro. As for what sense this makes, I'm not really sure. We'll find out. I guess, obviously, they just need to get away from the Seraphim. They need all the help that they can get. And so Lucci and Kaku probably realize, look, we're going to die if we just sit here laying down in this facility. We got to do something. So they're gonna team up with Luffy and Zoro. I mean, that's cool. I've been looking forward to that for a really long time. I don't know if I would have ended the chapter with that, though. This was a very setup-heavy chapter, which... we need. Not every chapter needs to have a massive revelation. I feel like I've just been very spoiled by Egghead Island. I feel like a lot of chapters have had really cool world-building things or had really cool action. And I feel like it was just kind of... this is required. This kind of chapter is required. We need setup chapters. But unfortunately, this doesn't leave for, a lot of hype, at least for me, outside of... okay, we're getting to see these characters work together in some capacity, in some way, moving on through the story arc, and Lucci and Kaku are going to team up with Zoro and Luffy, which I think a lot of people predicted that we were going to see that to some extent, right? I think that's not a huge surprise. We knew that Luffy and Zoro sort of standing back with Lucci and Kaku meant something was going to happen. As for what that's going to look like, I'm super excited to maybe see Kaku and Zoro do a tag team attack using their swords. I'm excited to see awakened Lucci and awakened Luffy fighting with each other together against Seraphim or something like that. I think that'd be kind of cool. This is also just something that I kind of have thought about over the course of the past couple weeks, and I'm resigning myself to it. I think I've seen one too many Who is the Traitor story arcs. Not in One Piece necessarily. This is actually kind of fresh for One Piece. We haven't seen it here. But as somebody who has consumed a lot of shonen manga, I don't know. It's wearing on me. It's getting to the point now where who this traitor is going to end up being or what the split's going to be, it's grating on me a little bit. It's okay, just answer this. I'm not super interested in the mystery. I'm just kind of, especially because we just came off of this with Kanjuro as well. I feel like we had the whole who's the traitor thing in Wano Country, and then we're getting it here. I think it's cool to have the traitor set up and the traitor build up in an arc like this versus in an arc like Wano. And I think for Wano, it was done differently in terms of the way the narrative was laid out because it was stretched out over multiple story arcs. But I think because we've been dealing with that traitor storyline since Wano, and this is now also kind of being dragged out a little bit too, I'm all right, come on. I'm ready to move on and do something else. I think the other thing is too, and it probably doesn't help that a lot of other shonen manga, popular shonen manga have done a similar thing in recent years. I literally just did a My Hero catch-up read-through a couple weeks ago, and same kind of thing, where it was, well, I'm not going to say who the traitor is in My Hero, because I don't know who in the chat is caught up, but I certainly don't want to spoil you guys. But, yeah, when you find out the traitor in that too, it's kind of oh, okay. It's kind of a whatever revelation. So again, hopefully that doesn't get too dragged out. I'm not particularly interested in that aspect of it. I'm more interested in seeing these groups working together and doing cool things, whether that's Lucci and Zoro and Kaku and Luffy, or seeing, I think Stussy, Sanji, and Jinbei could be a really fun pair. Robin and Chopper together, I think, is kind of cool. The thing Atlas said about being able to change however they look, and then choosing to look like a giant kid is weird. I'm wondering what the meaning behind that is. If maybe it's a play on the gigantification stuff. Because, again, one big thing that we still haven't seen more of is we know that I keep saying Kuina because we've been talking about the clone theory for so long. We know that Tashigi and Smoker last time we saw them were on their way to Vegapunk with the kids from Punk Hazard. So I'm assuming that maybe has something to do with that. I'm not really sure. It just is odd to me. Like, why would you choose to want to be a giant kid? I don't know. Nami and Brook together, I think it'd be kind of cool. I think it's funny, Nami freaking out over the diamond machine. going, okay, can we get back? Ooh, let me see. I want more of these jewels. I mean, I think that's cute. But yeah, this was mostly a setup chapter overall. I think actually one of the most exciting things and interesting things is this cover page with the young Vegapunk meeting with the Gorosei, because I'm assuming, especially considering how much the cover pages have come into play with the the current manga chapters, we've been seeing that a lot during Egghead Island. Like we saw the revelation with Pudding getting captured, and then in the same chapter we ended up seeing Pudding captured in real time with the Blackbeard pirates. I think maybe we're looking at something kind of similar here, in which this conversation between Vegapunk and the Five Elders will end up being addressed whenever Jay Garcia Saturn shows up. I think that would be kind of cool as well. This goes back to what I've been saying past couple weeks. I think it's so cool that the cover pages are so relevant to the actual chapter. Yeah. I think it's very, very cool. Yeah, overall though, I mean, I hate to use the term mid, but this was just kind of like a mid chapter to me. This was like, okay, cool, the revelation with Zoro and Kaku and Lucci and Luffy working together, but again, kind of to be expected based on what happened. I think the callback to the Oden face is funny. I really just thought there was going to be more of the chapter. I fully went to that page clicking it thinking there was going to be more, and it just kind of ended with that. I wish we would have had a little something more week to week. Again, this is something I'm sure when you're reading it in the binge, you're just going to go through this chapter. But overall, I think it was fine. Totally fine chapter. Is there anything else like particularly of note that I want to talk about in my review? I don't know. I'm looking at this one. Kind of going back like page by page. We've got the young Boa, turning York into stone. Okay, what else? I don't know. There's not really anything else. I'm almost interested just to like talk to the chat and see what you guys thought of this and if there was something maybe I missed. Because going back through this one, I don't know. I'm not really sure. The silhouette that's on page 3 of the person taking out the camera feed, I'm just trying to see if that looks like anybody in particular. I don't know. It's not really like a clear silhouette. I know certain people in the chat, one guy in particular will be very happy with what I'm about to say, but I was going to say, how funny would it be if it was Caribou? You have the slimy hand and the goopy looking silhouette in the background of maybe Caribou's finally showing up and doing something. Because we know that he's there technically, but I don't know how far he could get outside of the boat. I don't know. But I think it'd be cool if Caribou was involved in some way. I think the other thing too is it doesn't help that we've been given like a lot of really hype things that we know are going to happen with this story arc in teasers for the past couple chapters with like Kizaru and the Gorosei. It's like you're setting up for really, really good stuff. And to go back to sort of like the standard, okay, the crew is split, they're off doing their own thing, setup thing, is kind of a step back for me. Again though, this is just one chapter and I think it's necessary build-up, so I totally understand. I just wish, and this is something I've always thought though when it comes to One Piece, I wish that Oda would not do the setup like this though. You know what I mean? Like I kind of wish, again, he's writing it for the overall story. He's not writing this for week-to-week readers necessarily, but I do wish that in these chapters and in these story arcs in which he's setting up a lot of different characters doing a lot of different things, that he focuses kind of like on one. And then they're off doing their own thing and maybe you get some other revelation about the story at a different place. I don't know. But also, like, I say that, but then also, I know if this was Dressrosa and the pacing was similar to, like, a long story arc like that, each of these probably would have been their own chapter, where, like, Nami and Brook would have found this diamond machine and there would have been some other revelation about the Traitor or something, and it would have been dragged out for a little bit longer. So, I don't know. It's kind of a catch-22, right? On one hand, you do kind of want to, like, rush all through it, fit all that stuff in one chapter. And then on the other hand, I don't know, I wish you would have spread it out with something more interesting. But, yeah, I don't know. Overall, though, I think this one was perfectly serviceable as a setup chapter. And, yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about this one. I don't know. That's about it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pull up the thumbnail that James worked on for this week. So give me a second. Pull this up. Let me open this up over here. All right, and let's see. I think I have to do it on this one. Give me one sec. There we go. There we go. Okay. No surprise here as well. Makes complete sense that this is what he would go with. I like this. I like this a lot. We have Luffy and Zoro together using their disgusted faces. Perfect. Totally perfect. Exactly what I would have expected from this chapter. I don't know what else you would have gone with. I think that's absolutely great. Great work too on the colorization and stuff. I think that's super, super funny. I think I could either put my face in the middle or I could just kind of leave it like this for the thumbnail. Either one works. But no, I like it. I think it's funny. You got Zoro and Luffy with their disgusted Oden faces. Let me actually read what James left for the artist comments. Let me see. Pull this up. Oh, it opened up on this monitor anyway. All right, let's see. He said, well, I just knew I had to draw these faces. They were the highlight of the chapter for me. Well, that and Nami getting excited over diamonds. LOL, Nami is the best. Lucci and Kaku are two of my favorite villains, so I'm excited to see where they go from here. Oh, hold on. Let me shorten this a little bit because you guys are getting cut off seeing this. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. There we are. Lucci and Kaku are my two favorite villains, so I'm excited to see where they go. But by the way, who do you think is taller, York or Atlas? Oda's perspectives change sometimes, and I think Atlas is slightly taller based on looking at them standing next to Robin or Frankie and then comparing the heights. I was going back to edit the Vegapunk thumbnail that I drew at the end of last year to make York a little bit bigger. I'm going to end up posting it when I'm done. Oh, interesting. So you're actually going back and changing the height based on how York looks in this chapter. That's kind of cool. To be fair, though, you know, I think the thing that we have to hand it to James for is the fact that James is doing all this stuff without official colorizations and without official height charts or anything like that. He's drawing these week to week to match the chapter to say, hey, look how cool this looks. and to sort of give a good idea of how some of this stuff is going to end up looking before Oda actually even gives us the exact explanation. So yeah, I think that's really, really cool, man. Thank you for the insight, James. He's also saying, also, I don't usually make too many guesses, but judging by the shadowy figure that attacked, I personally think the figure is Jay Garcia. Oh, since I drew him a few weeks ago, I recognize the shape of his hair, and it seems like it's shaped the same. I wonder what the Gorosei's abilities could be. James, interesting. So you think the silhouette is actually Jay Garcia? That would explain being able to bypass everything if the Gorosei are above everything else. Wow, I guess I could kind of see it. Looking at that silhouette, I can kind of see it as well. The way that the hair kind of goes down a little bit in an angle. You get the glowing eyes, you see this. I wonder, yeah, if it is the Gorosei, what would his powers be? I don't know. That is kind of weird though, because we saw him on a ship the last time we saw him with Kizaru, and now all of a sudden he's here. So that'd be weird if he's like teleporting or something. I don't know. That'd be kind of cool. I love that idea. I think if it is actually Jay Garcia, that would retroactively make this chapter a little more interesting. If this is like the first time we're seeing a Gorosei in action, I think that could be really cool. Yeah. Super said, Roger's not a big fan of Lucci, so I'd imagine him making the same face as Luffy and Zoro. What do you mean? I like Lucci. What do you mean? Lucci's cool. Who said I'm not a fan of Lucci? I've always been a fan of Lucci. I like Lucci. A lot of people in the chat are saying Roger should copy the face and just put it in the thumbnail as well. All right, I will. If you guys want me to, then I'll do that as well. I'll copy the Oden face and I'll put it in the thumbnail. I don't know where my head's going to fit in, though. I don't think there's a way to make that work. I might have to put it in the background or something and layer things around. We'll make it work. I'll figure out a way to make it work for sure. Yeah. I'll find a way to make it work. I think I'll just have to be in the background behind Luffy and Zoro instead of like squeezing in front of them. I think I'd have to be in the background and then I'll do a silhouette around it. James, if you have it, if you have the layered PNG without the background for this, let me know, shoot it my way, put it on the drive, and by the time the stream is done, then that way I can adjust that for the thumbnail. But if you don't have it, don't worry about it. It'll take me like 5 seconds in Photoshop, so don't worry about a thing, buddy. All right. Well, once again, Excellent work by James. Really, really excellent work on the thumbnail. Absolutely beautiful. Let's get to some of these super chats. I want to see some theories. I want to see what people are thinking about this chapter. Let me open this up over here. Bring this down a little bit. Viewer activity. All right, and let's see. I'll scroll all the way back up. Here we go. All right, so first off, shout out to Adrian, Fi, Aaron Ferguson, Mike Mancool, Mega Prime, Wood AMCK, Reese M. Lucas, Sword I-83, Ryan Addy again with 5 months, Laz Rulden 95, Lucky 98, The Wa, and Hollow Avarice, and Vanitas's manga reviews, all for becoming members during this stream. Nakama, and we actually have quite a bit of time because there really wasn't a lot to this chapter. So I'm actually going to be reading out the member messages as well and going through all the different donations. So here we go. First one. This one is from Mr. Tim 1298, coming from 8:01 a.m. saying, Roger, do you think Sanji is going to fight one of the Seraphim? If so, against who? And what do you think the result will be? Kind regards from Denmark. Do I think Sanji will fight one of the Seraphim? I don't think he's going to fight Hancock. I don't think he would fight Kuma or Mihawk. Sanji is with Jinbei and with Stussy right now. So kind of the only one that would make sense, I guess, would be Jinbei. I also think it'd be kind of cool to have Sanji fighting a guy with Senior Pink's powers. I don't know. I think maybe just Jinbei, if anybody. But I realistically don't think he would be fighting any of the Seraphim. And the way that they're hyping up the Seraphim, I'm assuming they have to be pretty powerful characters. So, yeah. Aaron Ferguson leaving a message saying, always a pleasure to be here with the GOAT, Roger. Thank you, Aaron. Mike Mancool saying, yay, my 1-year anniversary as a member. Awesome. Saying, proud to be repping the good name of Caribou in the chat for so long. Here is to another year. Yo, James, that was quick. James is saying, all right, the PNG is in the drive. Yo, thank you very much, James. Fantastic. I can make the thumbnail for this and make the Odin face then and toss that baby up and we're done. Thank you very, very much. James is on it. Everybody shout out to James. Go follow James, Kentaro PJJ, on Twitter, on Instagram. Always doing great work. Thank you very much, James. Really appreciate that. We have Mega Prime coming in with the Bronze Mammoth tier going, yo, Poggers chapter this week. Okay, agree to disagree, but that's fine. Wood Amick saying almost 3 years representing the Mammoth Boys. Been an absolute pleasure. Thank you very much, Wood. Appreciate that. Reese M. Lucas says, this arc really feels like Among Us in here. Yeah, trying to figure out who the imposter is. And Sword Eye mentioning, do you think there was a hidden Stella? Sure. I don't know. Again, I have no real, I don't know. This aspect of Egghead is the one thing that I'm least interested in. I don't particularly care about traitors or if there's another Stella or anything like that. I don't know. That aspect is not what's interesting to me. What's interesting to me is like seeing the Gorosei, Kizaru, potentially seeing Smoker again, Lucci and Kaku teaming up with Luffy and Zoro. I think that'd be cool too. But I don't know. I think there could be. I'm not going to write it off. I think there very well might be. But I don't know. It is what it is. Ryan Addy said, part of me wonders if Lucci's bird Hattori is the one giving commands or if there was some direct communication to Saturn for Saturn to direct the Seraphims. I actually kind of like the idea that maybe Hattori is going around doing something. Actually, do we see him in this chapter with Lucci? Let me see. Let me go back. Do we see Hattori? I don't think we do. I don't see the pigeon on his shoulder. I don't know. I don't know if he's off doing his own thing right now. I certainly don't think Hattori is like trying to kill Lucci or anything like that. That would be kind of wild. That would be playing a long game. If somehow, some way, he was our traitor, but I don't think that's the case. Yeah, I'm not really sure. I don't know. He could be off doing his own thing, though. I think that'd be kind of interesting. I'd like to see the adventures of Hattori in the middle of Egghead Island. It'd be a fun little one-off chapter, just seeing what Hattori's up to. Grimp donated and said, my bet is that it was Caribou messing with the lab, going back to what you were talking about. Caribou maybe swallowed up Stella, gave commands to the Seraphim, having Stella in him, putting him on the hierarchy list, and that's ended up doing everything. I actually really like that idea. I didn't even consider that he would have put the Stella inside of him and then issued the commands with the Stella in him. That's an interesting take. I like that. That also gives more credence to the Caribou theory. I think that's cool. Sleepy Times also donated and said, I think Saint Saturn is already on Egghead Island. Going back to what James was saying, if you look at the camera being taken out by page 3, you can kind of make out his hat and some of the dreads in the silhouette. There you go. So right now, it does seem to be the prevailing theory of the chat is Caribou or Saturn. Doesn't really seem to be a lot of other theories outside of maybe another Stella that we didn't know about. Yeah. Laz Rudin came through, becoming a member again, saying, I hope Blackbeard's crew is on the island. Katarina Devon's power is super interesting. You know, that could be another thing. See, Katarina Devon is kind of a wild card because she could make herself look like whoever she wants to look like. So, I'm not really sure. I mean, and in becoming that person, would she have access to the hierarchy thing? Like if she showed up as Vegapunk? I don't know. That'd be kind of neat. I'd like to see Blackbeard get more involved. Also, considering we saw the interim chapters, with Blackbeard and with Kobe and with Hancock and with Law, Pudding. He's been involved in a lot of the side stuff during the story arc, so I think it could be kind of cool to see that come into play in the actual story on Egghead. Maybe, yeah. I wouldn't put it past Oda to bring Devon here. I think it'd be cool. Arctic Dark said, I think it's got to be the Gorosei. Chaos Lurlin says, I actually really want Caribou versus Hattori. What? The Wa donated again and said, by the way, since you do your chapter releases on Sunday, you do them at 8 a.m. your time, but it's 5 p.m. my time in Germany. So 5 p.m. equals time for Roger. All right, well, welcome. You could sit down, watch my review, and then have your dinner at 5 p.m. So thank you very much for being here. Hollow Avarice donating, saying, yo, Roger, it was a mid-chapter, but very necessary, and good review of what went down. Thank you very much. Alejandro donated and said, do you think the organoids are going to become important to the story later, or is it just something cool that can fix the Vegapunks? I think going back to what I said during my review/reaction, I feel like that is set up for something really bad to happen to one of the Straw Hats, or something really bad to happen to one of the core members of Egghead Island, and it seems like, oh my god, they're going to die, and then, nope, we remember either Chopper or Robin or Atlas will go, hey, remember the organoids are over here. We can pull whatever you need. And they're going to really quickly, stitch somebody up. And if anything, I think that maybe Chopper will be the one to do it. Just like showing off his doctor prowess or something like that. But I do feel like that's essentially going to be a way to do a fake out death. If he so chooses. Which... not thrilled about the idea of potentially another fake out death, but, it's there, and I think it'll play an important role in the story. Everything happens for a reason in One Piece. I think Oda wouldn't set something up and then not do something with it, so. Zach in the chat said finally get to fix Zoro's liver for all the drinking he's been doing. Yeah, see, there you go. Maybe he needs a new liver. There you go. Vanitas, by the way, became a member again and said, I'm getting close to a full year as a member. Nakama. All right. Thank you, Vanitas. Appreciate that. Man Cool, of course, coming through with the Caribou donation, as always, saying, I figured it out. Caribou is taking down the cameras specifically because how afraid he is to be discovered on the island. Maybe. It could be. I think there's a very high likelihood that the silhouette could be Caribou. So you know what? You might actually get what you've always wanted, which is Caribou being involved in the core story in some way, doing something different. So, yeah. All right, Mike Man, cool. Trevor M. saying, is the Stella evil? We're playing a big game of Clue with the Authority chip. It would have to be him or Saturn with the Seraphims. See, there you go. Got one of the Stellas. Got the Authority chips, more with Saturn. Yeah, I don't know. I think one of them could be. But I'm not really sure. SO also adding in, you should do the same face for the thumbnail. I think we've already said during the chat today that we are going to do that. So maybe I'll end the stream making that face, and then I'll screenshot it and put in the thumbnail in the background. That'd be kind of funny. Lucky98 said, maybe I'm reading too much into it, but the Gorosei on the cover page don't really look younger than they are now. I don't think you're really looking into it a lot. That's something that came up a long time ago regarding the Ohara incident when we saw them in silhouette and the assumption that they were the same age and that they've been the same age for a long time. So I don't think you're reading too much into it at all. I think that's something that people have talked about for a long time. Yeah. Shinku V donated and said Sanji should fight S. Dofi as a callback to the Dressrosa. S. Dofi, wow. I don't know if Sanji would be able to beat a Seraphim Doflamingo. I don't think that would be the case. I don't know. Doflamingo was such a powerful character as is that I don't know. I don't think Sanji'd be able to do it. Imagine Doflamingo with the powers of a Seraphim. I just don't think Sanji's ready. I really don't. I think Sanji could maybe take on a Seraphim Jinbei with Senior Pink powers. But a Seraphim Doflamingo with his actual powers? No, I don't think so. Yeah. If he can take hits from Queen, he can take hits from Dofi. That is cap of the highest order. Absolutely not. No. That is... He could maybe take hits from Dofi, but I don't think necessarily he would win against a Seraphim Doflamingo. But that is incredibly cap. If you think that Doflamingo and Queen are on the same level. Doflamingo would wipe Queen in an instant. Doflamingo would slaughter Queen. Like, it would not even be a question. Doflamingo would slaughter Queen. Without a doubt. I don't even have to think about that. And I'm not saying this is like a way to downplay Sanji. I'm just saying that I really think Doflamingo, base Doflamingo, could easily kill Queen. And so a Seraphim Doflamingo, with even more powers than the core Doflamingo, would be a threat. And I don't know if Sanji's ready for that. I really don't. It took Luffy going Gear 4 to actually beat Doflamingo. I don't know if necessarily the Germa powers are going to do it. I don't know. People in the chat going, Sanji's heart's burning bright. Yeah, I don't think that's going to be the case, though. I don't think he'd beat him. Mimsy in the chat is going, really? A Warlord beats Emperor number 2 and Emperor number 3? Easy. Yes. Think about what you just said again, Mimsy. I'm going to throw exactly what you just said back at you again and just stew on this and think about this. You questioned, a Warlord would really be able to beat an Emperor's number 2 and number 3? Yes. Yes, a Warlord could absolutely. Hancock could absolutely beat Queen and King. Mihawk could unquestionably beat Queen and King. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. To be fair, I think Crocodile could beat King and Queen. If we're really going there, I think Crocodile could beat both of them. I do. Not Crocodile pre-time skip, but Crocodile, what we don't know of Crocodile currently, like Billionberry Bounty Crocodile that we're seeing in the Cross Guild, could easily wash Queen and King. Easily. Easily. Without a doubt. There's like no question in my mind. Because think of it this way. When we eventually get into the fights with the Cross Guild, right, and everybody wants Mihawk versus Zoro, which we're obviously going to get, I think really the other fight that would make sense would be Sanji and Crocodile. And if Sanji is beating Crocodile that much later in the story, after Queen, and Crocodile wasn't able to beat Queen, what would be the hype in that? If Sanji just one-shotted Crocodile. There would be no hype in that whatsoever. So absolutely, yes, absolutely, named characters that are more important to the story than the commanders of Yonko, who are down now, are going to be more powerful. Yes. Yes. I think people always forget when it comes to power scaling and it comes to characters that Oda can do whatever he wants when a character has not been seen for the last time. And I think realistically, outside of maybe like showing up in the final war, breaking out of Impel Down or something. I don't see much more for Queen and King that's going to be as integral to the story as Mihawk, as Crocodile, as Hancock moving forward. I just don't think it's going to happen. But Oda can do whatever he wants. So realistically, yes, I think without a shadow of a doubt, Crocodile currently, Mihawk currently, Doflamingo currently could all beat both King and Queen. Easy. Yes, and I don't even think there's really a debate on that. I feel pretty firmly about that would be the case. Yeah. Because again, like, Oda can do whatever he wants with the story moving forward, and I don't see a situation moving forward in which, like, King or Queen would be super duper, like, important to the core story. Outside of maybe something with King and the Lunarians, or, like, Queen and Mads, but even then we have other characters in Mads who are more important. Like, Stussy is literally here right now. So, Vegapunk is here right now. So yeah, I think that's where we are. There's also no convincing me. I feel pretty strongly about this. I don't feel any different. I think there's certain warlords that maybe would be beaten by King and Queen, but I think the main ones that are important to the story are getting, yeah, I think King and Queen are getting washed by them. Parvision said, to be fair, that actually really makes sense the way you set it up, but Moria, LOL. No, I didn't say all the warlords. Whoa. Okay, yeah, people are putting words in my mouth. Wait, let's take a step back and think about what I said again. I did not say all the warlords can beat all of the commanders. I'm not saying Moria is beating Queen or King or Katakuri. That is not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that to say a warlord could never beat a number 1, a number 2, or a number 3 of a commander of a Yonko's crew is cap of the highest order, because Mihawk is literally right there. Mihawk was a warlord and can wipe all of them easily. People are constantly having discussions, about Shanks and Mihawk. It's like, if Shanks and Mihawk is even a discussion, there shouldn't be a discussion at all regarding Queen and King. Like, full stop. That should not even be a thing then. Because then that's people saying that there's a chance that Shanks would have a hard time with King and Queen. Which, think about that statement and how ludicrous that would be. No. So, let's not even go there. Where did I leave off? Hold on, let's continue. Also, shout out real quick to Temp6, who donated $20 and said, I actually really love the idea of Hattori betraying Lucci now of all times. As in, Hattori is really more aligned with the Gorosei and Imu, and is only really tagged along with Lucci to monitor him and see things from his point of view. Yeah, I mean, that'd be awesome. That would be awesome. I think that would be genuinely cool. I think that would be a fun twist. I'd be interested in that. Yeah, I think that'd be super, super fun. I would like to see that, Tempt. I think that'd be super fun. I like the idea of Hattori doing more in the story. I want to see more of him. I like him. And I think it'd be funny if he was a traitor. Yeah. By the way, Roger, someone brought up Stella in the chat, saying, look up the character of Stella in One Piece. Okay. What is this then? The character of Stella. Stella was a slave in Guild Tesoro's love interest, but died after being enslaved by the world nobles. She appears in Film Gold. What, are you guys trying to say that, like, this Stella has something to do with, like, Stella, like the name for Vegapunk? Guild Tesoro's love interest who died after being enslaved by world nobles. I don't think there's a connection there. They have the same name, but I would not look too much into it. That seems like a pretty big stretch. Yeah. Well, I mean, died after being enslaved by world nobles. I don't know. I mean, maybe there's something there with the world government, but I don't think so. Yeah. I don't know. Also, I think when people are bringing up Stella in the chat earlier, I'm assuming you guys were talking about the main body of Vegapunk, right? The idea that maybe the main body of Vegapunk is a traitor to the other Vegapunks and like locking them all down. But I don't know what sense that would make. I don't know, like, I don't know if I like the idea of the main body of Vegapunk being the traitor. Unless maybe it's something where you're supposed to think with that cover story and him meeting with the world government that he's trying to destroy his own creations or something, but he's trying to get off the island. The whole reason he's trying to leave with Luffy is because he doesn't want to get killed. So why would he lock down everything and blow up his punks? That doesn't make any sense to me. Yeah. Unless maybe there was like a clone or something. If there was like a clone body of the Stella, if there was a clone body of Vegapunk, and maybe the clone was evil or something, because we've seen clones. There could very well be another clone of Vegapunk running around who's maybe like an evil clone. But I don't see the main body of Vegapunk being the traitor. I just don't see it happening. Again, someone donated earlier and asked, you know, do you think there could be another Stella and do you think there could be a traitor? I think, again, Oda could do whatever he wants. If he wants to make an evil clone of the main body, sure. But I don't necessarily think that's going to be the case. Again, because the core thing of this arc is Vegapunk is trying to leave the island. And I don't see him being bad. So, yeah. Final answer is I don't think the main body of Vegapunk is a traitor. Yeah. Let me go back to some of these. Hold on. We have a bunch of other donations in here. Flipdo said, for a while, I actually really thought the traitor was York. I think that's kind of been written off in this chapter then, if that was the case. Jason donated and said, this actually gave me an idea. What if Saturn is doing a projection kind of like Luke in The Last Jedi? Oh, like a force projection kind of thing? That Saturn is actually on the boat right now with Kizaru and he's force projecting himself over to the island and then messing everything up? That'd be kind of neat. I like that idea. Oda does like his Star Wars, so I wouldn't put it past him to do something like that. Yeah. Terrence Matthews said, I'd really like to see Sanji, Jinbei, and Stussy take on somebody as a martial arts trio. That'd be kind of cool. Yeah. Code 1 XZ said, I think traitor is York. You don't find it sus that the clone of the smartest man in the world is resorted to eating and sleeping? Boa still her? You mean Boa froze her? I think the traitor is York. You don't find it sus that a clone of the smartest man in the world has resorted to eating and sleeping. Boa stilled her. I don't think the traitor is York. I don't really know what you meant by that. You don't think it's sus that a clone of smartest man in the world is resorted to eating and sleeping? I don't know what you mean there. Because obviously the whole reason York exists is because Vegapunk doesn't have time to eat and sleep. So he created that to take that burden off of him. I mean, she's kind of the most useless of all of them. She's useful to him, useless to the rest of us, because she just falls asleep half the time. Yeah, someone's got to eat and poop, so I don't think she's a traitor. No. Debus became a member and said, I'm glad I started One Piece in November to join in on this weekly journey. Welcome! And Flipdo becoming a member again, saying, for a while I thought the traitor really was York, though, too. A lot of people saying they think the traitor is York. Soge King becoming a member, saying Sanji will get new lungs for all the smoking, and Zoro will get new liver, Nami will get new shoulders, and Luffy will get a new brain. Usopp will get a new nose, and Chopper... Huh? Chopper gets a hot dog? Everyone is getting an organ? What? Chopper gets a hot dog? What do you mean by that? I'm confused. I do think it'd be funny, though, if Sanji got new lungs. He's like, hey, the smoking's really getting to me. Here you go. Just take a new one. Trevor M. donated and said, lots of Saturn imagery in Egghead. Do you think it's coincidental? I do not think it's coincidental at all. I think we have a Gorosei named Saturn on his way to Egghead Island. So no, I don't think it's coincidental at all. Keenan donated and said, do you think Katakuri would be defeated by Doflamingo? Do I think Doflamingo would defeat Katakuri? That one's actually a debate. For me, I think King and Queen would definitely lose to Katakuri. I mean, King and Queen, excuse me, would definitely lose to Doflamingo. Katakuri, I don't know. Katakuri would maybe beat Doflamingo, I think. In fact, I think he would definitely beat Doflamingo. I don't know. Power scaling is weird when it comes to the commanders. Because I think of the commanders, Katakuri would absolutely wipe Queen and King. They would both get destroyed by Katakuri. But I could see Katakuri beating Doflamingo. But I could see Doflamingo putting up a fight at the very least. Then again, it really depends, right? Like if you put Katakuri and Doflamingo on an island together and Doflamingo does the birdcage, like what would happen? Katakuri would become Mochi and maybe slide through the cage closing in on him, but then the cage would slice him up into a million different pieces of Mochi. I don't know. I feel like Katakuri does beat Dofi, though. I think that's a situation in which a commander would beat Doflamingo. Yeah, I think it'd be Katakuri. I think, though, Katakuri is the only one that we've seen outside of Shanks' crew that would be able to do it. Like, I don't necessarily think King and Queen wouldn't be able to beat Katakuri. I don't think Smoothie would beat Katakuri. I don't think Cracker would beat Katakuri. I think Ben Beckman would be able to beat Katakuri for sure. Probably. I say for sure as if I know, but I don't. I don't know. That's kind of up in the air. I think Katakuri, I don't know. We haven't seen enough of Ben Beckman. I'm not going to do that one. And then in terms of like the other commanders, I don't know. I feel like Marco maybe? Marco's weird though too because we don't really know the full extent of Marco's revival Phoenix powers. You know what I mean? Like we really haven't seen Marco full on 1v1 somebody. We've seen that Kizaru is freaked out by Marco, which should maybe be a sign that he's pretty powerful. Yeah, you know, I don't know. Marco, I kind of need to see more from. Yeah. Anyway, let's move on. We have Mega Prime saying, thank you for the unblock. Let's give hype to the Kage no Mi. Oh, Mega Prime. Oh, because you tweeted something at my Twitter or something and you got unblocked? You're welcome. Code 1. Oh, you already said this again. Hold on. Oh, no. This is a new donation. Code 1 saying, Wait. What is this? What's going on here? Still Boa still with her. Boa didn't chase after the group after shooting at them and likely turned York back to normal. So that was her master plan all along. Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. You're saying that York purposely separated herself, went to go see the Hancock, knowing that Hancock would freeze her, and then stayed back while everyone else got blown away. I see what you were saying now. Okay. I mean, I get your thought process, but I just don't agree with it. Yeah. I get where you're going. I just don't think that's the case. Terrence Matthews donated and said, I think Katakuri is the strongest commander. I agree with you. I think Katakuri is the strongest commander that we've seen. Yeah. Terrence Matthews donated and said, I think Doflamingo's gotten stronger in Impel Down, kind of like Frieza did in Hell back in Dragon Ball Super. Increased hockey through mental concentration and training. Yeah, I definitely think Doflamingo is going to be stronger the next time that we see him, which will probably be during the final war. And I do absolutely think that Doflamingo would beat King and Queen. Yeah. It's an interesting theory, for sure. The theory about York that I'm seeing people bringing up in the chat, but I don't necessarily agree with it. But I think it's a good theory, right? That she purposely froze herself and then stayed back. Yeah. Good as any. Hollow Everest donated again and said, my theory is that all the Gorosei have mythical zones, which would explain their long lives. It'd also be a really cool parallel to Luffy and would give them godlike powers. That'd be really cool. I'd like to see that. Yeah, I'd like if all of the Gorosei had mythical zones. I think it'd be super cool. I think the force projection idea is also kind of cool too. Mike Mancool donated and said, do you think that Vegapunk has hockey? Too early to make a call right now. I think it's too early to make a call, is where I'm standing with that one. I think Vegapunk is still concealing something from us, though I don't quite know what that thing is. Could it be hockey? You know, if Oda wanted to do it, I think he could do it. But I don't know. I'm not going to say no, because I think there's too much we don't know about Vegapunk still. So I don't feel confident in saying no. But we'll see. And finally, DW Rojas said, Croc held his own against Doflamingo at Marineford and had 2 years to get stronger, and people still think he's at the same level he was in Alabasta. I hate that. So you're right there with me then, saying you think current Crocodile would beat Queen and King. Good. I agree. I totally agree with you. Excellent. And final donation, this one comes from Temp6, I'm cutting it off here, says, not related to the chapter, but how substantial do you think Weevil is going to be in Impel Down? When he inevitably gets broken out, do you think people like Dofi are going to sneak out too? Yes. I brought this up on my previous chapter review, and I think I brought it up too before as well. I think there's a high likelihood for some type of like Impel Down 2.0, maybe done in a cover story with like Bon Clay, Doflamingo, Senor Pink, the members of the Doflamingo family, Weevil, who else? Bon Clay, the other newcomer that are there. I don't know. I think there's Weevil. I think there's a lot of characters that are currently in Impel Down that could maybe break out of Impel Down together and show up at the final war that I think would be kind of cool. Yeah. All right, well, guys, I think that is it. Oh, Raiden said you missed my donation. Sad. All right, let me scroll back up and see if I missed it. What did I miss, Raiden? Let me see. Because I'm not seeing anything listed under viewer activity, so it's not showing up. Yeah, I don't know. Well, thankfully, there's no break. So thankfully, we got a new chapter next Sunday. That's going to be super exciting. By the next time I see you guys, I will have gone to Super Nintendo World. So that's pretty cool. Looking forward to that. I've got more Metroid coming up this week. I've got more Fire Emblem coming up this week. I've got, I'm not going to announce that one yet, but I have a plan to do like a reaction stream. So I've got some cool stuff. I've got some cool stuff on the way. But thank you once again to everybody who came through. Once again, if you haven't already or you do want to support the channel but you didn't get a chance to donate today, get yourself an Obi plush. The Obi plushes are available right now. Makeship.com/Obi plush. I think we've already sold like through half of our stock. I think we've already sold like 100 something. So you've got 12 days still to get an Obi plushie, but they're going quick. So get them now while you still have the chance. Get them, get them, get them. Also, 12 days until Attack on Titan comes back. Very excited. However, it said, curious, are you going to go back to One Piece Odyssey anytime soon? Probably not on stream, but definitely on my own. Yep, but I think people have shown they have more interest in Metroid than they do Fire Emblem and Odyssey, and if I choose a Twitch game to play, I'm definitely going with Fire Emblem. So I think I'm going to have to go back to Odyssey a little bit later. Yeah. Any news on the Threeville situation? Yes, I reached out, gave him a bunch of information, and he got his channel back in 2 days, which is very good and very lucky for him. It took me a week and a half, so I'm happy that he got his channel back. Yeah. But Threeville's back, thankfully, which is cool. All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. I will be back. I will talk to you guys later. And thanks for being here. Appreciate it. I'll see you tomorrow.